You ready to start trial 3? Yes. Yeah. So to recap, last time a whole bunch of stuff happened. Now they must confirm 2 murders. Who claimed the lives of Fumi and Kiyotaka? This class trial. She builds up. I don't have any more skills. Oh no. Suspicion upon suspicion. So what happened is... Oh, no. There's one. Okay, good. We got a new one. That's good. Everything kind of happened all at once. Then my throat nearly gave out because of how much it's crazy. Celeste Fumi is attacked. Then we found the body of Kiyotaka and Hifumi. But then the bodies disappeared, and this big guy, apparently Robo Justice, is the culprit, and we found Hiro trapped in the Robo Justice suit. So I'm very, very suspicious of not Hiro, because when we found the bodies again, Fumi said that said Yasuhiro. Fumi's body? I don't know. Got a break from my vocal cords.
Let's begin with the basic of the last trial. So, your votes will determine the result.
I said last time they're different because he was stuck in the robot suit.
If you can figure out who does it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Now then, to begin with...
We already know who did it!
Was that?
Do you?
It was Hiro. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit. Don't try and deny it! You killed them!
I didn't! Someone knocked me out! I was asleep the whole time! I don't know anything about it!
Shut your murdering mouth, murderer!
Who are you calling a murderer?
I am sorry to say, Hiro, but we do have this blueprint.
It's not really the handwriting.
Parts we assume were used to build it, and all of it was found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite compelling. It points to you as having created the suit in it while committing crime after crime.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know, I don't know!
Is Hiro really the killer, or anything else? We had to make that clear. Save the poor boy. Yasuhiro's message.
Everything we found in your room.
Okay.
The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough. You are the culprit.
I don't know anything about that stuff! It's not true, it's a conspiracy!
Hiro, why? Why did you kill them?
No! Just hold on a second!
Okay. I mean, looking at the blueprints, the handwriting's awful messy. Commander Hiro's handwriting is... Okay, so it's the blueprints.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts...
No, that's wrong!
No, it's wrong! His handwriting is quite nice. Surprisingly.
Are we sure he really made blueprints?
What do you mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that Hiro wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared.
Don't say that, Akuma.
The
Makoto.
handwriting's obviously different, wouldn't you say? When you compare it to the blueprints.
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them.
Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
No, the differences are bigger than that, I think.
Come on! I'm not smart enough to think of trying to change my handwriting anyway.
Hiro, you could be playing dumb.
So Makoto, are you saying you don't think Hiro's the culprit?
And he's not the only one. I think Hiro's innocent as well.
What?
Here's what you
Then
think.
who was in that Robo Justice suit? Is it like Hiro said? Was there really someone running around in a second suit?
The suspicious individual hidden within the suit. Go ahead, Makoto. Tell them who it was.
What? Of course he passed it off to me.
So, who was in the Robo Justice suit?
It was still Hiro.
I got it! Other than Hiro, I can't think of anyone else it could have been. Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit, and we never found any kind of second suit.
That doesn't mean he was the one who committed the murders.
Then there can be no doubt. Hiro is the prime suspect.
That doesn't make any sense. You just said Hiro didn't do it.
It makes perfect sense. Hiro was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
Why do you have to make me agree with Byakuya?
So what you're saying is...
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo Justice suit.
What? Now that's a bold assumption. And what reason do you have to make such a statement? You do have a reason, yes?
I just found out online that those drills are apparently, fake. They're clip-ons.
Of
Which I don't
course.
blame her.
But before we get to that, there's something else we need to clear. Let's get it.
He's around.
All things have a proper order.
So what is it? What needs to be clarified?
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body. It would seem that his corpse was moved using certain particular items. Makoto, can you tell us what they were?
Things used to move Taka's body. They must have been... I guess I have to put the... I guess I don't really... Oh yeah.
I got
The tarp. There's still one more thing. Things were used to move Taka's body. They must have been... the dolly.
I got
Yeah.
Dolly.
What do you mean, shh? We just have to clarify that for everyone.
So, let's see if I can explain. Taka's body disappeared from the equipment room. Then we found a repository. And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a... It was the same target that was stored in the equipment room. So the killer must have seen it and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body. That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Okay, that explains the tar. Dolly?
Thing.
Except there was
I'm
wheel
sure
marks.
the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body there. But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly.
And there are the whale marks.
Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository,
Dolly was also there.
so did the dolly.
In other words, you think that Dolly to move the body. Am I right? But are you sure you are not mistaken?
Yes. The blood on the wheel
Are you
marks.
absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's body? That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room. It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room.
Not really.
Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along? You simply didn't read.
She's raised an objection. How do you respond?
There is no shame in being wrong, and nobody expects much from you anyway.
You're being real
We
defensive,
have all
Celeste.
accepted the fact that you rarely understand what is going on around you.
I have solved 2 murders so far. It's not my fault, Mr. Rich Boy over there, and admittedly a very helpful keep things from me, okay? Wow, I've never heard someone be so nice while being so mean. Maybe I could change your mind. Explain why the dolly must have been removed from the equipment room depository. New elements been added to bulletin battle. Yes, please. Let's talk about reloading. Starting this bullet battle, we're gonna have one or more ingredient recipe. On the bottom of the screen, beneath the tempo marker, you will see your ammo count. Up until now, there really hasn't been a limit on how you destroy your opponent's statement. Oh, is this the rhythm thing? But from now on, just locking and pressing The mouse button will be enough to handle them. Now it'll cost you 1 bullet to damage a arc. Once you run out of bullets, you can't stand any more statements no matter how locked you are. However, you can reload them pressing the tab. Well, I don't really use the buttons. Just like locking, you have to press the tab in time with a tempo marker. Okay. Basically, just remember the tab is a function of lock with the left. Okay, so I don't use the up and down buttons anyway. You'll automatically reload the start of fever time. Your ammo will not decrease. However, your difficulty is set to gentle. You don't have to reload at all. I don't have it set to gentle. I have it set to reload. Was Hifumi really that short? I guess I didn't notice it, but looking at his and Leon's pictures, it kind of seems that way. Yeah. In which case, you can ignore everything I just said and have fun.
You had it wrong. I cannot agree. Fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Wait, you miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies nowhere. Do your best, you miserable wretch.
I know I'm missing.
I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst, you miserable wretch. You miserable wretch.
Final strike.
I cannot agree.
Bloodstained Dolly. You upset now? It's kind of weird I had to do that right at the beginning.
For proof Dolly moved, I have it right here. When I found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it. There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that matched the dolly wheel's tread. The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room, and as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
Jesus, Celeste really hate me that much.
Well, anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then what kind of robot is it?
I'm not sure that really matters.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer.
Please do.
If you look back on how the body was transported, it will become immediately obvious.
If you look at how the body was moved, it become clear why the person just couldn't have done it. What does he mean by that? Because when Alex was on, she did bend at the waist. Yeah. Oh. Hifumi was shorter.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room.
Correct.
And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Oh, no. Come on, Makoto, don't scare me like that. It makes me think something weird's going on. Dang it.
As we know, Taka was killed in and
Then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off.
Now, keep in mind, Dolly does the hand.
All you'd have to do is bend over.
Bruh!
You're absolutely right. Couldn't put a dolly without a handle if you stoop down
No,
low.
Hifumi was shorter than Sayaka.
But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
What do you mean?
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together. Remember?
I love this screenshot still. My mind is a bat in here. I can't see my feet at all. I'm surprised to get anywhere in this thing. I'm telling you, it wasn't me! Not to mention, you totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist. Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
You can't even see your feet? You really think someone will eat all that way?
And also, wait, was it on the same floor?
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible. Not that I can say for sure.
On top of that, if you were wearing such a it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
There's absolutely no chance the costume enough when you move the body because you can't take it off by yourself. It's got like a latch on the back.
I don't think taking off the suit was an option. If you remember...
I don't know what's up with this thing. A little help? Why would you make someone else that you cannot take off you yourself? I didn't make anything! There's a glass back that's keeping you from getting it off. Looks pretty sturdy. I don't think you can get it off on your own. You don't have a choice. Let's help him.
That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
Then,
Yeah.
you really can't take it off by yourself? Hero wasn't just making it up?
Of course I wasn't making it up.
If he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it. Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect it.
Yeah, that's right.
So, it's really, really true that Robo Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
To be clear, whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hero in the robot suit, correct?
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took? You all got a good look at it, did you not? The image of Hifumi being Robo Justice? If whoever was in that suit, how do you explain that? Do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said?
How'd you get hurt? That guy hit me. What guy? Robo Justice that's what I decided to call him just now. See, it couldn't have been Yasuhiro because the blueprints already had Robo Justice on them. And if that's not his handwriting, then whose is it?
As long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question.
Is it?
The individual inside the suit and the it was without a doubt.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gotta be.
Look, Allie, Celeste is a great liar, but...
Hold on a second.
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion.
Thank you, Kyoko.
Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it. Before we rush to a verdict, shouldn't we explore every single possibility? Instead of seizing on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovering things from every angle.
Yes.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe we'll uncover something new.
What a pain in the ass!
Yes, it is. Because I probably have to talk.
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
Alright then, let's take another look back at what happened. I suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered dining hall.
Okay,
Makoto,
gonna do it.
Hina,
Thank you.
Kyoko, and myself.
Wow, Junko is kind of taller than Taka? Maybe it was the hair. Faces are
We
back in
waited there
position
for
there.
quite a while, but nobody else showed up, so we went to look for everyone. That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, I found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember it a little after 7.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume. Turns out, it was Robo Justice.
I hate I can recognize my own digital camera from the way that this one looks on the sides.
It also soon became clear that this same Robo-Justice had abducted Hifumi. He was joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find library. He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the scene. But not long after leaving the nurse's office...
What's wrong? I saw a shadow. Something moved over this.
When Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search the second floor.
Julia's trying to control the situation.
Soon after that,
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor, and I yelled out to everyone as soon as I did.
Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, the strange costumed man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. He headed back to the hallway.
and then...
Wah! Huh? What was that? It came from downstairs. It must have been Hifumi. He's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we gotta go.
At that point, we decided to divide up into 2 groups. Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office, while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi, dead. And that's when Discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to let the others know what had happened.
Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time. The same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about 3 of us head for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us. And she told us something very surprising.
Hifumi's body disappeared.
We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again.
This can't be happening. Are we all hallucinating this or something?
But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were at school for 2 missing dead bodies. And after some time...
Celeste informed us she found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository, which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
I think that about covers it.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated. It certainly seems to me that they're not a simple series of connected events.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation. And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
Contradictions hidden in what happened to Taka. In order to come to truth to this case, you have to find him no matter what. Monochrome file number 3.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in.
No.
Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
We're numbered, but were they really used in that order?
So, regarding, I wonder if or perhaps it was after. We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
No.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
Nope, that's not it. Okay.
Shoot!
Okay, it's at the beginning.
So, regarding Taka, I wonder if he died or perhaps it was after.
We already know what order they were killed in.
No, no, stop.
Taka came last.
Ugh.
What makes you say?
Because of the number.
It's true that he flew while Taka's death.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
Okay.
So, I wonder if, or perhaps it was. We already know what order they were killed in.
Shoot!
Really?
So, regarding Taka, I wonder if, or perhaps it was. We already know what order they were killed in. Taka
No,
came
stop.
last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
Why is it not working? Do I have to shoot the things again?
Shoot!
So,
I'm sorry, I'm bad at this.
We already know what order they were killed in.
Shoot!
What am I doing wrong?
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
Okay.
Shoot!
Did I not clear all the stuff?
So, regarding Taka's
I wonder if, or perhaps it was. We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammer.
It's true that Hifumi was killed while Taka came.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So it's the first one, and I keep missing because of the white noise. Okay.
So, regarding Taka's
I'm
death,
gonna slow it down.
I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed just while Taka's death.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So, I wonder if, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in.
Then what is it? What is it? I'm getting annoyed as hell. I just lost it. Yeah, nope, failed. Please, no one wants to hear what I had to say. Alright, yeah.
Is this...
Yes?
I refuse to give up yet!
Alright, thank you. Gonna go slow.
So,
Hold on. Fast forward, weak spots, firing trooper, lulling, quick select.
I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
No.
We already know what order they were killed in.
Alright, yep.
Shoot!
So, regarding Taka's death,
I wonder if, or perhaps it was. We already know what order they were killed. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
The Justice Hammers.
What am I doing wrong? Hold on. No, this is... What am I doing wrong? I am so confused as to what I'm doing wrong. Like... Oh wait, do I have to fill the thing and then do it? Is that it?
so, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
Okay.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammer.
There we go.
No, that's wrong.
I completely forgot about that mechanic. Oh man. I have to look up how to do it.
There's no reason to assume hammers were used in the same order as their numbers. If anything, that's just another way the killer tried their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order, but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi? Okay then, let's see the proof.
Evidence that proves Taka was killed before Hifumi. Something that relates to what time he must die. Wristwatch. Oh, wristwatch. Yes. Wristwatch. There we go.
Now I understand. I've got it. Taka's wrist. It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
It must have been attacked by the killer. Because as of last night...
There's Easter. Her pointedly at his wristwatch. It's almost 10 o'clock, you know, that's bedtime for all the little girls and boys. Boys and girls, my bad.
So if it wasn't broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And that would be his official time of death.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before the other incident.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong
was because when he was killed, he hadn't ended up in the dining hall yet.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder, but all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's true.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe.
Is that a rip on Ellie's shorts, or is it the one of the Hope's Peak logos? The Monokuma eye. Huh? What was that? That came from downstairs. It must have been Hifumi. He's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back.
I heard Hifumi screaming. We were all together. Except for Hiro and Kyoko. Then we all ran down to the nurse's office. And that's where we found his body.
That's totally true. We're all in the clear.
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on!
If that's true, where's the tape?
I don't know.
Don't just go making stuff up.
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream. Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct? And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment room. We were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing.
Well, don't forget, the equipment room the whole time.
Then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then!
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body. Because, as we just established, out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway.
In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their bodies. On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
So what now, Kyoko?
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how. In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing.
It would be hard to move a body like that.
And according to what Celeste said,
So then kill the in a short amount of time? It would seem so.
his body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third?
Oh man, yeah! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
What? How?
Body for it to move itself.
The dead body moved on its own?
No! Not another... ghost!
Sound like Shaggy. Although technically that would either be possession or zombie.
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is, we thought Hifumi was dead. Perhaps in reality he was still alive.
He was alive?
Are you wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
Seems
But
like
I mean,
it.
we found his body. He was dead.
Well,
Perhaps he was playing dead.
That it isn't possible.
the idea Fumi was still alive, is that really possible? I mean, yeah, they discovered Taka's body at the same time, so Taka was well dead. I feel that's not gonna be related or something.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was out of doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement...
Are we really so? Maybe the announcement was intended for someone else's discovery.
No, I think I need to absorb that.
Are you saying that when we first had a chance, it was actually...
Was dead.
And you know that
Surely you heard the body discovery. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement...
Are we really so? Maybe the
It was intended to signal
someone else's discovery.
This is it.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's, there's a chance
he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. He was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found.
She has a nice voice when
No,
it's slowed
it's
down.
wrong. Was the body discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Because there was another one that was played when we found both of their bodies.
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if 2 bodies had been found, there really should have been 2 announcements.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
That didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy bum.
No, actually, that was plenty.
Huh?
He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time, which means even if I find the same body later, he won't make the announcement again.
So when the body discovery occurred when we found both bodies, it wasn't for Taka, it was for Hifumi because he was actually dead that
If
time.
that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Huh? Later on?
Exactly.
Right now, first time we would play dong dong ding. Certain.
The announcement played.
Rediscovered.
Bounty for the first time in the nurse's office. He wasn't actually dead yet. He actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
I know! Because he was super good at playing!
That is the worst lie I have ever heard. But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
Okay then, let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body. To become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
There has to be proof that Hifumi was still alive and find and show it to everyone. It's the glasses cleaner, because it had blood on it. And there was blood on his face the first time, but it wasn't on the second.
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office. And then, his people
In the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved, other than the was no notable.
It's a backlog.
And whose digital was it? He
character from Demon
out anyone but Hifumi brought something like this to school.
I see your point, and the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
Okay, man.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
So what you're saying is... What exactly?
Yasuhiro, you're the reason we need to repeat everything.
What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
That's a point.
And it must have been him.
So let's assume that Hifumi is still alive in the nurse's office. Tends to have glasses clean so he can see and walk on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of eating his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
Tending to... What?
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packed blood. He probably used one of those.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out, so he just dumped it everywhere! But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done! God, what an idiot!
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
Was
Done!
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked? Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside. Which means, when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And that's when Hifumi got bonked.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository.
Yeet.
So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
But that means he took part in the murders.
I just can't believe it.
Maybe he spun around with a hammer and just bonked himself.
If you're having trouble,
Sorry.
would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
Yes, please.
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed. You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
Oh, he took that off his note. And a note. Note Hifumi had. Yeah. And they do kind of match the blueprint writing.
You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
Hidden note?
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In his pants?
Yes, his pants.
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note says.
I found a hole maybe we can use to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else. Right now, let's meet in the equipment room at 6 a.m. I can't read.
Ah, that's the note I was telling you about. The one that told me where to go. Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
It's not the same?
In other words, the killer got another person besides Hiro.
Taka.
And that could only have been...
Hifumi's pants! No, Taka.
I got it! That's right! Taka! The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection! I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right? So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Huffy!
Just to be clear, TikTok is Taka and Huffy is Hifumi, right?
Ugh! Why must you ruin it every time?
Just go by first names. Sorry, but can't let her get to me. Oh no. I have to absorb something, I think.
Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said.
Oh!
Time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
No, that's wrong!
It's a line that can be taken out of context. Note has nothing to do with TikTok.
No, absolutely action. At 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered. You've already proven that using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Well, when you put it like that... No further objections!
Then someone used that note to trick Taka. Just the same as me. The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster. Till they found a way out.
But if they get Taka, what was Hifumi?
Stuffed down his pants, no less!
Most likely, he stole it off Taka's corpse after he...
He stole it?
Where's your proof? Go ahead.
Proof that Hifumi saw Taka's scrap of paper.
I got it!
We had to get
Taka's
remorse.
body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper. If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from is... I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
Yeah.
Then Taka's scrap, Hifumi's note.
Just get some tape and then just show.
Yup. They're from the same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still smelled that note. Only one lit in it.
He was holding
Taka
the
died
note.
clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from his... leaving behind only one small wrap. Did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa. Yeah. That was super involved in this whole thing for sure.
Catching up. You're
Was behind the whole thing. In fact,
no.
he's still alive.
Don't talk. Not Taka Hero.
Hifumi was truly ate and dead. The second body discovered announced that.
So then, Hifumi,
Whoever the master boss.
he was killed in the repository. So he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
During that time, we split up and were searching for Taka's missing body.
Almost there.
In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together. Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus! Who are you calling a walrus?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all. But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it. But wouldn't that be serious for him?
It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either.
We did find an unpainted hammer.
The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments.
Like it was washed.
But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers? Personally, I haven't a clue.
So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Then...
Not possible they used a different one?
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
There was a whole wall of hammers in the back of the art room.
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
Well, that was actually used to kill Hifumi. The whole picture surrounding this case won't become clear until we figure that out. Somehow must find the truth! Solving a murder! It's time to dance! They were smart, they would have cleaned all the hammers.
What was used to kill Hifumi?
Yes.
Was it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Well, whatever it is, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with a weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make it!
No.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I want to seriously stab your seriously adorable
Shoot!
What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Well, there's one. How was the culprit? How did nobody... Sounds like a Justice Hammer! Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info!
Well, one thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice.
No, that's wrong.
Thought it because we couldn't find... there was no Justice Hammer 5.
The murder weapon wasn't a Justice Hammer at all. No, it was something
Serious? A different
from the repository. Kill it to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris. But for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean.
Huh?
And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers.
Yeah.
Big ones, small ones, and even mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
Almost like some of them are missing.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the similar.
So Hifumi's body to the repository, where someone then used the hammer to kill him.
And whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him. Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there's no benefit to helping someone else care. So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about it, simply not.
We talked about how there's no reason for anyone to work together. This is what we thought at first, but... here.
Based on the rules that have been laid out, more than one person is complicit in the murder. Only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
No, I need to absorb that.
Based on the rules that have been laid out,
Even if more than one, only the one who actually, assuming the rule holds true.
That is.
But that only really applies if there's one murder. In this case, however, there were two murders.
based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true.
There were two murders.
Since there were two murders, it's at least possible that more than one person was involved.
What do you mean?
If it's only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in a scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you. However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
You're that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two separate murders.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime. And based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone. Two separate incidents. And it only looked person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single vicious individual, similar weapon used in bodies. Instead of circumstances, they made it look like one assault.
The mastermind picked it and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then to avoid the no accomplices rule, they killed us. Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
That's just awful. How would be cool?
Someone could have used Alter Ego as a targeting chip, as a bargaining chip.
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
No, you think convince us were the same. There is a main characteristic this time. Kyoko must notice that fact from the very beginning, which is why she had not looked at these events as connected events with entirely separate incidents. Kyoko really is amazing, although, when you think about it, she's almost too amazing. Like, it's unnatural how good she is at this. I mean, she just plays a lot of Phoenix, right?
I understand how an accomplice could be involved. But then, who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
Whoever stole Alter Ego.
That's problem numero uno right now.
True killer to me. You believe Hifumi to carry out the actions and debates still up for now. The case is unfolded. When you all consider all that, it's really only one person who seems to fit. Could it have been the person who is treating him like a stepping stool, and also the person who found their bodies first because the door can only lock from the inside?
Here's my answer. It was Celeste.
Ah, so I'm the suspicious individual now. I really do hate this kind of joke.
I like this line.
A joke? I wonder.
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I within 10 feet of that shit brain, that lazy, worthless, goddamn idiot! Pardonnez-moi.
So that's how you spell that.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
Counting the paper in Hifumi's pants, no. Counting the suspicious individual. Both of them said they saw him.
The behavior they had in has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it? The only ones who ever actually saw Robo Justice first were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush. The adults are talking now.
Excuse you?
Sorry.
Don't apologize!
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual. If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
She's the queen of liars.
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
Also, what do you mean adults? You're about the same age as Zoro. I saw a shadow. Something moving around on top of the stairs.
We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the third floor,
she let out a blood-curdling scream.
And when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, the strange costume man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared.
Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
Glad.
Huh? What was that? It came from downstairs. It must have been Hifumi. He's in the nurse's office. It's bad. Come on, we gotta go back.
It was to get us to divide into two groups, so that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
Yep. Then why don't we split into two groups? I'll lead the hunting party. Seems more interesting. Very well. Makoto, Hina, you come to the next. I will leave the capture the suspicious individual to Toko, Byakuya, and Sakura.
Well, if Celeste working together, all those events suddenly become connected. And on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on. That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the third floor, everything's going according to plan.
Yeah, she was real specific about the sound
Why
to
else
me.
would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead,
I certainly was not expecting this. I did not imagine Hifumi would be murdered.
Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered.
One sec, guys.
You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
She's being awfully quiet.
I don't believe it. Everything, the whole thing was one big act.
Hina, you were with Celeste when his body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kinda sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait! Then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly. Wouldn't you agree?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one mistake.
Oh, did I?
I didn't catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
They must be really enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. We're going to die here. We're gonna die just like those guys did.
Could have been talking about the people that died before us, but this game is going.
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the four of us to the nurse's office. Now, being together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead. Think about it. Celeste's comment makes sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although I don't really get what it means.
Hero, please.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's had trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? Being not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
Like I said, Celeste's comment doesn't make any sense. What is he alluding to? Alluding to the fact that she knew Taka's dead already. I have to reabsorb something.
All I said was... They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like I... And that is all I said.
And that takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it, what was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Okay, those are so strange. That's what can do the work for you. Figure it out yourself why your comment doesn't make any sense.
Really, the sight of us, they must be... We are all going to die.
That's all it was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Well,
No.
really, the sight of us, they must be... We are all going...
And that is all I said.
And that's what Celeste's comment.
All I said was... They must really enjoying the sight of us. They must be positive. We are all going to die. We are going to die.
Just like those...
Yep.
No, that's wrong.
Again, she could have justified it by the other people that died, but...
That's right. There's no reason said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
You all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
Imaginations?
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture I took? How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
Could have faked it.
It has to be some kind of setup, right? So let's put the suit on. And that...
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away. If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist? Simple.
Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
No, there is no other explanation.
Other explanations? If the picture isn't a suspect of... If this isn't a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away, the only possibility is Hifumi's driving the suspect away.
It's not a picture of that dragging away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made guy in all this!
Such a thing is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think so.
Then shut your mouth. Allow me to educate you.
Celeste thinks she can prove there's no way Hifumi was dragging the suspect away. Is it really possible? What are you gonna have to do? Make your argument? Robot Justice blueprints? Maybe it's the costume.
You dressed me up in that style. Review for me and carry my way. You tried to make me look like a bad guy.
Yeah.
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright.
No.
If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way
they could stand up straight.
No, you're wrong.
That's wrong.
Isn't she wrong, Raven? No, you're not gonna come down and trick me?
No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that. Because that Robo Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
Totally can't bend the ways. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
That's right. They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend the waist.
I bet Celeste is just cussing out Hifumi right now.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
Hero's still not Hero. Hifumi's the one that's designed it.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hero into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Oh no.
checkmate.
Oh, here comes the spin.
Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate?
Wow, she has some of the best sprites.
Clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem.
Yeah, your finger's really long.
Ready for what Hifumi told us that he was dying?
Hey, Hifumi, who was it? Who attacked you? Who tried to kill you? That's right. I remember their name. Yasuhiro.
When we asked him who had attacked him, there was not Yasuhiro. Words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
Wait! But my name isn't really Yasuhiro! It's actually Taro!
Your confusing statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated.
He did say Yasuhiro, but are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
There's that ship.
Kyoko, what do you mean by that?
Think back how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of us?
He said people's last names, except for the one time when we caught him to talk to all alter ego. He said,
got it.
Makoto, say!
Right. Our last names. He called us all by our last names.
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example.
Except, you know, during times of distress.
So if Hifumi did mean to say he would have said his last name. Correct.
I'm sure it was just incidental chance. He just his first name indecent.
Don't talk.
Random chance. Now isn't that a convenient explanation? No. There's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal. He must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to take the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to.
This is why Kyoko mentioned the notebooks.
And
the
that's
handbooks.
Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
What did you just say? To think you take your false accusations, so I don't know whether to laugh or spit. Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather. Yasuhiro is a loser's name. Do I look like a loser to you? Well, do I? What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Fine. Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up! My real name is Celestia Luden. Could you stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
As a trap card, just say Celeste. Celeste won't give up, so then I have to do something to make her accept it. I gotta do a rhythm game. Sorry. Oh no, I don't. I just have to show the e-handbook.
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
How many times do I have to tell you? My name is Celestia Ludenberg! Damn it!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since
You have to contradict
No. There we go.
No, that's wrong.
I was worried I'd miss that. So glad I didn't get to skip
That's it.
that
The
part.
handbook.
what?
Anytime you put your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right? I'm gonna tell us all about it before.
This handbook is absolutely vital to a healthy school life, so don't lose it. When you start it up, it'll display your name. Now, it's not your everyday. It's not your everyday notebook. It has many more uses than that.
So all we have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
Celeste, can you please just tell us what really happened? Please, just tell us.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because until the game's, you never know what might happen.
Fine then. Let me settle it. Let me go over the case again. From the beginning, shed your crimes. And that'll bring everything to an end.
Closing argument. Alright, let's double check. Oh, there's things from the first, second. How do we know your recruit their accomplice was seduction? In this case, how the cure could be accomplished? Was it seduction? Wait, I don't understand. I'll go through the rest of them. What time did the victor call their killer to the record? Okay. Oh no. Wait. it's like 6-ish. Oh, no, there it is. Wait, double check. Who would the killer summon first? Okay. It was Hiro. Knocked him out and stunned the robots who falsify their evidence. He's certain I would do it. Okay, so this one had the oh, wait. Oh, falsifying the evidence, the camera, okay. What time is stock is supposed to be in equipment? Okay. First watch. Then he bonked him. Just hammer. Okay. This library, if you send the fake the evidence, shattered criminal. Send the fake evidence to Shattered Criminal. Close the backpack. Okay. Nurse's office, you got the blood pack out, smeared it everywhere. What Justice Hammer? It was not the clean one. 3. Oh wait, no. I know what it was. It was 2. Oh my goodness, what happened? Russ doesn't have him cleaning his glasses. It's like, look, I'm a good... Alright, let me look at the first one.
The killer is...
you! I might have the first one wrong.
Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was...
Oh, it has to be the picture of... Ifumi, okay.
Here's exactly what happened. Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder.
You persuaded him with potato chips.
Hifumi. With an accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes. First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning. That someone they met with was Hiro. The murderous duo intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect. So when they met up with him, they drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo Justice suit. Himself to make justice attacking him, while he used a digital camera to take the assault. They did all this to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker. And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room. Murder. The murder went the next day to justice as the site of fake attack in the rec room one, and the Robo Justice picture to make sure we bought I store hack in the library. With these two, that the suspect was increasing and attacking people in order, we fell right into their trap and started looking to suspect based on that.